Hello and welcome to the Tottenham America channel. Today we'll be reacting to Tottenham's heartbreaking 4-3 loss at the hands of Liverpool at Anfield, as a late Diogo Jota goal in the 90+4th minute secured the 3 points for Liverpool, just after Richarlison in the 90+3rd minute scored his first Premier League goal for Tottenham at the home of his previous rivals, Anfield, in the 90+3rd minute, completing a 3-0 comeback for Spurs. We'll start with the events of the match, starting in the very beginning of the game, which is where it all started in the 3rd minute. Curtis Jones gave Liverpool a strong start in the 3rd minute. Alexander-Arnold clipped a beautiful ball towards the back post where Curtis Jones was waiting. He is completely unmarked. Pedro Porro was nowhere near him, and Curtis Jones just had to steer it past Fraser Forster, which he did, and it was an easy goal for Liverpool. 2 minutes later, in the 5th minute, they get another, and it feels very, very similar to Tottenham-Newcastle, where Newcastle went up to 5 goals in 20 minutes. Luis Diaz got a beautiful touch onto a Cody Gakpo cutback, and he steers it past Forrester into the net. No defenders around him, completely wide open. Gakpo broke through our back line excellently, and it's 2 within 5, and Liverpool make it 3 in 15 after Romero brings Gakpo down in the box, and the referee gives a penalty to Liverpool. Salah converts from the spot, and it is 3-0 to Liverpool within 15 minutes. Absolutely terrible from Spurs and their defense. Quite possibly one of the worst starts that we've had, second worst start we've had to this season, going 3 goals down in the first 15 minutes. So reminiscent of that game under Stellini just last weekend against Newcastle. Half the Spurs side had basically left the stadium at Anfield. They were done. But the Tottenham players, it seemed, were not, because Harry Kane got one back in the 39th minute as Perisic bombed down the left, floored Van Dijk before lifting a beautiful cross in for Kane. No one marking him, so all he has to do is control the ball past Alisson. It's a great pass back, and Tottenham are now 2 goals away and start a potential comeback. We go into halftime with Tottenham having 1 goal back, and that is really where probably it all changed. Ryan Mason had his, what seems to be a very classic enforcing team talk at the half, which always seems to get Tottenham going again. Took a little bit longer for it to work, but in the 54th minute, Son and Romero both hit the outside of the uprights of Alisson's goal. The first one is when Kulusevski finds Son on the edge of the box. He shifts it onto his right foot and cannons an effort off of the bottom of the right post. It's a very good strike. Then moments later, Kane puts in a beautiful curling cross towards the goal. Romero stretches and somehow connects with the ball, and it slowly bounces onto the other side of the post, on the left post. And Spurs go so close to getting another goal back. But they do eventually get that goal back in the 77th minute. Romero goes some way of redeeming himself after the penalty he gave away in the 15th minute with an excellent ball over the Liverpool defense. Son is onside and rushes onto the loose ball and just has to tap it past Alisson into the back of the net, and Tottenham are within 1 goal of Liverpool with just 10 minutes to play. And the comeback is complete in the 90+3rd minute. Tottenham Hotspur equalize, and the man who scores his first Premier League goal of the season, former Everton man Richarlison. Son whips in an excellent free kick. Richarlison meets it and heads it into the ground. It loops up and over Alisson, and having gone 3-0 down after 15 minutes, Tottenham have completed one of the greatest turnarounds that we've seen in a long time. And we thought that was it. Tottenham had escaped with a point somehow before the 90+4th minute came. Alisson boots a long ball over the middle of the pitch. It lands at Lucas Moura's feet as he's playing right wing back. He tries to just tap it over to Romero, doesn't clear the ball, and instead it mishits into the path of Jota. Romero is taken out of the equation, as is Dyer, and Jota just has to run onto the goal and strike the ball into the back of the net, which is exactly what he does. And somehow, coming 3-0 from 3-0 down to 3-all in the 90-plus third minute, Tottenham Hotspur had 1 point and threw it away at Anfield. And really, I mean, that was just the weirdest game ever. We went 3-0 down in the first 15 minutes. Then we completed one of the best comebacks we're likely to see in a long time. And then we threw it all away at the end again. This probably adds to our list of Anfield curses. There are multiple video compilations up there showing the sheer amount of chances that we've missed in the last probably 3 or 4 years against Liverpool, whether it be home or away. Off the top of my head, I can remember Son hitting the bar on an open goal, Sissoko skying the ball on a one-on-one, Bergwijn's 2 missed chances, Højbjerg's header, Kane's header, Dele Alli's missed chance last season at home. There were so many chances, but we just never are able to finish any of them against Liverpool. And, I mean, this was a ridiculous game. All of the goals were basically our fault. All the Liverpool goals were gifts. They really should not have scored them because that was completely the fault of our own defense. Then we hit the post 3 times, Son twice, and Romero once. And then again, towards the end of the game, goal scorer Diogo Jota should have had a red card as he took his boot up to Skip's head. He saw Skip there, still took his boot up to Skip's head. Skip went off bleeding, and the referee deemed it not a red card somehow, and eventually he goes and scores the winning goal. But that has to be one of the most painful losses of the season. I really don't get what Lucas Moura was doing there. I mean, he is a player who has publicly announced that he will not be staying at Tottenham any longer than the end of the season. He said he's going to live out his contract and then he'll leave. So the idea to bring him on in the 90th minute of a big game against Liverpool that decided our top 4, top 6 fate, and yet we bring him on for Pedro Porro. And may I remind you, Pedro Porro I think he had a very, very good game today. I think, especially second half. First half, he was definitely not good. First goal was completely his fault. But the second half from him, the attacking instincts from him were probably he was doing really good. And to bring him off for Lucas Moura in the 90th minute is just the wrong decision, especially when we score a winning goal like that. Lucas Moura is now back in defending, and I just don't think you want Lucas Moura there, a guy who really, I mean, he's done with the club. He doesn't care, really. He's going to go back to Brazil at the end of the season. So there's, no point bringing him on for Pedro Porro, who is doing absolutely fine today. So I just don't get the game that we played today. But, I mean, the fight back was crazy. From Kane, Son, Richarlison. I think Son was one of our best players today. Son was unbelievable. Son and Perisic, I think, were just through the roof, especially in the second half. They were excellent. Really, really good. But somehow that 1 point evaded us, and that makes our job to get into top 4 much harder because Liverpool are now 2 points ahead of us with a game in hand, and Aston Villa are on the same points as us. We are ahead by 2 goals, goal difference, and Brighton are only 2 points behind us, and they have 3 games in hand compared to us. They are just 2 points behind us and Aston Villa in 8th place. So it's going to be a very, very tight end, but I could even see us going all the way down to 8th. Aston Villa have been flying recently. They've had a bunch of excellent games. They did lose to Man United, but now they've got Wolves coming up, Liverpool, Aston Villa, and they've got Tottenham Hotspur. We played them on Sunday, May 13th. So that is really a big one that's going to decide, I think, who gets 6th, who gets 7th, and who gets 8th. That game is going to be huge. So it's really all to play for, but if we had gotten even 1 point here, I think that would have helped our case massively. But it just did not work in the end for Tottenham, and ultimately the fight back was unbelievable. But it's the classic Spurs way, I think. Go down 3 goals in the beginning, purely due to individual errors. Then we somehow come up with 3 goals, including a 90-plus third-minute equalizer from a former Evertonian, the main rivals of Liverpool, and then we throw it away all again 1 minute later to just completely just break down. I don't think any of this is Ryan Mason's fault except the choice to bring on Lucas Moura, but I have a feeling after this, I think Mason's a much more reactionary manager than a lot of the managers we've had. I think I'm confident in saying that I don't think we'll see Lucas Moura in the squad anymore. And even Eric Dyer, I think, will be switched out for a little bit because, I mean, that was pretty unacceptable. Dyer was horrific, and same with Lucas Moura. That is probably the worst Spurs cameo we've ever had. And I don't know, it's like 10 times worse than Harry Winks versus Everton in the FA Cup. That was pretty bad under Jose, but this is just 10 times worse. He came on, and literally all he did is just give away a goal. And a very meaningful goal. But that's it for our reactions to Tottenham Hotspur's 3-4 loss to Liverpool in the Premier League. If you enjoyed and want to see more Spurs content, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below if you want to see more Spurs content. And until next time, come on you Spurs!